grand jury believes they were part of the illegal effort to overturn the results of Georgia's 2020 presidential election. The acts identified as predicate acts or acts of racketeering activity are crimes that are alleged to have been committed in furtherance of the criminal enterprise. Acts of racketeering activity are also charged as separate counts in the indictment against those who are alleged to have committed them. All elections in our nation are administered by these states, which are given the responsibility of ensuring a fair process and an accurate counting of the votes. That includes elections for presidential electors, Congress, state officials, and local offices. The state's role in this process is essential to the functioning of our democracy. Georgia, like every state, has laws that allow those who believe that results of an election are wrong, whether because of intentional wrongdoing or unintentional error, to challenge those results in our state courts. The indictment alleges that rather than abide by Georgia's legal process for election challenges, the defendants engaged in a criminal racketeering enterprise to overturn Georgia's presidential election result. Subsequent to the indictment, as is the normal process in Georgia law, the grand jury issued arrest warrants for those who are charged. I am giving the defendants the opportunity to voluntarily surrender no later than noon on Friday, the 25th day of August, 2023. I remind everyone here that an indictment is only a series of allegations based on a grand jury's determination of probable cause to support the charges. It is now the duty of my office to prove these charges in the indictment beyond a reasonable doubt at trial. I would like to take a moment to thank the Superior Court Clerk, Shay Alexander, and her staff for staying late and making sure that this indictment was processed. I would also like to thank the men and women of Sheriff Labatt's office for keeping the courthouse open, but most importantly for keeping us safe over the weeks and months that have led up to this indictment, and for what I know they will continue to do to keep us safe. We also want to thank the Atlanta Police Department and other law enforcement partners who have worked with the sheriff to keep us safe. I will now take a very limited number of questions prior to going to sleep.
I'll go first.
Madam District
If you
Attorney.
don't mind, Savannah 11 to 11 alive. Quick question, can you clarify in Georgia the mandatory minimum when it comes to RICO charges, whether it's servable by probation or how that might play out?
The RICO charges has time that you have to serve, so it is not a probated sentence.
Madam District Attorney, what's the timetable for your trial?
What is the timetable for the trial?
Yes.
As you know, in this jurisdiction, trials are set by the judges. And so it will be the judge that sets the date of the trial. This office will be submitting a proposed scheduling order within this week. However, that will totally be at the discretion of the judge.
And you're the fourth jurisdiction now to indict Donald Trump. Do you believe you need to be the fourth one to try him, or could you move it up? Do you want to be the first to try him?
I don't have any desire to be first or last. I want to try him and be respectful for our sovereign states. We do want to move this case along, and so we will be asking for a proposed order that occurs a trial date within the next 6 months.
Any contact? There was earlier today. There was a fictitious document, according to the Fulton County Clerk's Office, that was circulated online with charges against former President Donald Trump. That fictitious document matched exactly the charges that we now see in this indictment. Can you tell us more about that document leak? Because now you have the former president's lawyers who are saying this is emblematic of a serious problem with your office.
No, I can't tell you anything about what you refer to. What I can tell you is that we had a grand jury here in Fulton County They deliberated till almost 8 o'clock, if not right after 8 o'clock. An indictment was returned. It was true billed, and you now have an indictment. I am not an expert on clerks' duties or even administrative duties. I wouldn't know how to work that system, and so I'm not going to speculate. Next question.
Have you had contact with the special counsel about overlap between these cases, and do you intend to try all of these defendants together?
Do I intend to try the 19 defendants in this indictment together? Yes.
And have you had any contact with the special counsel about the overlap between this indictment and the federal indictment?
I'm not going to discuss our investigation at this time. I'm going to take
the arguments made by former President Trump that this is a politically motivated indictment.
I make decisions in this office based on the facts and the law. The law is completely nonpartisan. That's how decisions are made in every case. To date, this office has indicted, since I've been sitting as the district attorney, over 12,000 cases. This is the 11th RICO indictment. We followed the same process. We look at the facts, we look at the law, and we bring charges.
How many conversations about the terms of surrender?
Will you try this case yourself?
Has the jury been cleared?
That is the district attorney for Fulton County, Georgia, Fani Willis, taking a small number of questions, as she said, before I go to sleep, after making a brief and to-the-point statement about the indictment that has just been released to the public. Again, we are looking at 19 defendants, including former President Donald Trump and some of his top advisors, some of his attorneys, his White House chief of staff, a number of Georgia officials, and others who have been charged with 41 different crimes. All 19 defendants charged as under count 1 in the indictment, which is violation of the Georgia RICO Act. RICO stands for Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. In terms of news that we just got there from the district attorney, I will defer to my friends here at the table, but what I heard was she is offering to all 19 defendants that they have until noon on Friday, August 25th, to voluntarily surrender. If they do so, they will not be arrested. She said she wants a trial within 6 months. She said she wants all 19 defendants tried together, which to me is a lot. And she said she went out of her way to say that, not about this case, but in context, that she knows what she's doing when it comes to RICO indictments. She said that she has brought more than 12,000 indictments, her office, since she has been district attorney in Fulton County, and that this is the 11th RICO indictment of her term in office. And again, her term in office only goes back to 2021.
Yeah, and this has characterized her approach. For those who don't know a lot about her, she is aggressive, and some would say over-aggressive. She's not the first or last prosecutor to take an expansive view of her powers. Defense lawyers sometimes call that overcharging. We were talking about this as we read it and then seeing her now. This is very broad. This is very tough. I would say if you are a defendant or a lawyer for a defendant named in this case, and there are some people who are not superstars with endless funds, it's very bad news. She's not playing around, she's not delaying, and she is not negotiating. So she's telling everyone, come in by Friday. We've talked a lot about the former president. She's saying he's like anyone else and has to come in by Friday to voluntarily surrender if he doesn't want to deal with an arrest warrant process. She said that about everyone else. As you said, she wants to try it together. That's a sweeping proposition. I'm interested to hear what Andrew thinks, but I could call that something that some lawyers might successfully attack in court. And you'll see 6 months, an aggressive timeline, but she has the power. She has every right to pursue it.